Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And good morning. Thank you so much for having us in your home today.
April,
good morning, Paul.
Friday Junior as usual.
Friday Junior.
This is a time when, at least for this month of April, that we're both on set together.
Yes.
So I think our viewers are kind of getting used to that. We have to put in a bid to make that more of a trend. Thursday mornings with Paul and April.
Oh, you just
Friday
put that
Junior.
out there? You put that out there? So
Speaking
you be that?
out.
Great. I
Right.
hope see you to hear
You know,
that.
give the viewers some stability. Give them what they want because they obviously want Paul and they obviously want April. So let's give them exactly what they want on a Thursday morning. I mean, you can't wake up to such a beautiful morning and crave these beautiful faces
Oh, wow.
and then not be able to see it.
Vacation is
Because
serving you
I'm
so
not
well.
upset.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's exactly what we need to put in a bid to happen.
I
Thursday
go with that.
mornings with Paul and April. How are you this
I'm
morning,
doing
April?
great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Coffee is helping clearly, but it was a bit of a little rainy, wet drive up this
Yeah.
morning. It was blue skies with some isolated showers, and I'm starting to think song like Katrin Cumberbatch on from Meteorological Service.
You know,
but
it's interesting because you take that drive. For those who don't know, you're from Belmopan, so you take that drive most mornings from Belmopan to Belize City. You're kind of like that traveling weatherman back in the days when they perhaps never have all of this forecast and meteorological services stuff.
Yeah.
People would
Track the
ride
weather.
or track and tell you, oh, it's raining down south. Expect it. We're ahead of the rains.
I think we still do that to an extent, though. Like I don't know about you, but whenever it's raining in Kai or in Belmopan and I'm here in Belize City, my mom or my dad would send a text and ask how the weather is
How the
over
weather
here,
is it,
and then I'll look outside. I'm like, it's coming if that's the case, or it's going towards you. But they drive from Belmopan to Belize City. A lot of people wonder why I do it or how if it's not like this tedious task of always or harrowing to always get up and come. But I enjoy watching the sunrises when I'm driving up. It's the best thing ever.
In terms of the weather, though, April, we'll hear a little bit more about that later. But we've been getting the steady, unstable, unlikely type of weather patterns over this week. I don't know if you're realizing, but yesterday, somebody noted that it's the first time in a long time that they've heard thunders in Belize City.
In
April.
April.
We had in April.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that speaks to global warming, which is the earth warming up, which may bring some unpredictable weather patterns.
Yeah.
This hurricane season, we're only 2 months away from the hurricane season. One month if you consider going through May and then going into June. And so that's, for me, that's something I definitely want to be taking a look at closely as the time progresses in terms of what those weather patterns will look like. I don't think it would be shocking if we begin to see developments into mid-May, going into June. And so that's something to look at. Yeah. And while we're seeing increase in showers, we're also seeing increases in prices, April. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, for those who are not aware of what CPI is, but just let me say, breaking news, the Statistical Institute of Belize issued their CPI for the month of March, which shows an increase of 5.7% in Consumer Price Index. Yeah. For those who may not be aware of what it is, it's basically a basket of goods that the Statistical Institute of Belize, these people that deal with the statistics and pricing and economics and stuff like that, they put together a basket of goods and they say, initially when they put together this basket of goods, they said, this is what these things cost. And as time goes by, the prices on this basket increase, the prices on this basket decreases. So what we saw between the month of March 2021 and the month of March 2022, so the year in review, what we saw was an increase of 5.7% overall increase in the basket. Now, while that may seem like a little increase, 5.7%, that's nothing. But that's the overall increase, because when you look at prices on certain things, this comes out on a monthly basis. When you look at the prices on certain things, a year in review, you kind of get a full picture of what's really happening here. So, for example, pigtail. That's one of Belizean delicacy. We know that we've been seeing and we've been hearing the news that pigtail go up, pigtail go up, pigtail go up. But when you look at the increase, 69%, almost 70% increase on pigtail prices over the last year. What else do you look at on that
like
chart there, April?
Basic things like bread, basic things like chicken breast, oil, flour. These are the things that people use on a regular basis for the foundation of their meals. When you make your tortilla, you need to make sure that you have flour, water, salt, lard, baking powder, and what have you. And now you're looking at the increase of almost all foundation of meals.
Tomatoes. 91.2%.
Yes.
Wow.
So, I believe that the University of Belize is going to have a talk about this particular situation, the increase in prices and just the stability or the instability of the economy of Belize. And I think that's supposed to be today at 10. They're supposed to have that conversation via Zoom. But the reality is these prices are increasing. Our wages are stagnant.
Right.
How are we to afford to eat and live and do our daily, lives and our spending if our wages are still the same? The balance is not there.
I do want to point out that when you look at some of these products that's in this basket, a lot of them are things that we can actually grow and ourselves, When you look at things like chicken wings, it says 9.8% increase. It's not a lot, but we could raise our own chickens. April.
You could raise your own chickens, Paul?
I actually could learn how to raise my own chickens. When you look at the coconut oil, well, I know that's a local product. You look at tomatoes, for example, that has had the highest increase. You look at Irish potatoes. Just simple things. There's simple things there that perhaps may encourage more Belizeans to say, hey, you know what? I think it's time we figure out how we could depend less on the market to get these products, and we could perhaps become more independent and even find a way to supply the market with some of these things. It takes me back to a story I did in Kamalote, where where the owner of the farm said, I can't make gas. So I know I make gas, but I could buy, I could make the things or sell the things that could give me the money to buy the gas. I'm sure if she sit down and she takes her time, she probably could find out how to make gas. But it shows us that there are opportunities for small home gardens. There are opportunities for backyard farming. Things that we could perhaps do to curtail the type of spending that these products demand. Listen, you go to the shop right now and $50 don't buy you the type of things that $50 used to buy you. Sometimes I go and I go to the grocery and I spend $200 easy. And I get like 2 bags of things and they feel heavy. But you only feel heavy because the Suavitel heavy. You only feel heavy because the soap powder heavy or the squeezy. You buy a big bottle and that heavy. But then you get home and then you start fill your cabinet. So you're like, all right, this is what $200 get me just now. So it's a reality across the nation that prices are increasing. on a lot of goods, and Belizeans need to begin to take responsibility. I know the government has a part to play, but Belizeans, I believe, we need to begin to take responsibility. Start with planting a tomato tree.
I hear you, and I definitely agree on your points. But I also wonder what is happening in the world around us that is allowing this to happen. And for the most part, those items that you see, pigtail, your veggies, they're not imports. You know, these are things that we're home growing here. So it begs the question as to why these items are increasing. What is happening outside that the farmer needs to pay more and to make a profit that they're you know or raising the prices in some of these items. You know, yes, we should probably be growing our own foods, but like I ask you something. How long does it take for you to do your job on a daily basis? How many hours a week you spend actually doing your day job?
Oh, that's a good amount of time.
Okay, and so how much time would it take for you to tend to your kitchen garden at home?
Yeah, I get your point. It's
so in order for the world to run the way it run, it needs everybody to do their jobs the way they should, right? Yes, we all want to be able to have a chance to grow tomatoes. I don't have a green thumb. I try to grow tomatoes and never work out. You go ask my mom. It was a disaster in the making. But the reality is that not everybody can because of their daily lives, their daily jobs. And with that said, you're still not earning enough for you to afford these increases in products and produce. So where do we balance out this problem? How do we balance out this problem? Why is it that everything that go up but my salary stays the same? It will become to a point where your rent will cost what you make for the month, and then you won't be able to have anything left to buy these products or to pay your bills, because on top of that, your electricity, your water, your gas at home, your internet cable, whatever it is that you pay on a monthly basis is increasing with all of that.
You have to and I agree with you 100%, April. While there is a need to kind of expand what you grow or how you approach the products you consume, there's also a demand for time, and in a world where it's a fast-paced, fast-moving world where everybody wants to get into the corporate arena, it's difficult to consider going back to this lifestyle, sowing and reaping per se. So therein lies the challenge, and perhaps that is what is causing us to see more and more of an increase in imports on goods, in imports on food and live animals. For example, in the same month of March that we're looking at for 2022, we saw that imports increased in the country. When it comes to food and live animals, we actually imported $4 million worth of food and live animals. So millions we're importing food and live animals. We could grow animals and food. So we're importing that in the millions. It's an issue across the Caribbean. Let's be real about that. And so it's something that I believe CARICOM is actively seeking to address. Then when you think about coming out of a pandemic and you think about the increases in shipping costs, the increases in container costs, Belizeans need to understand that these things are also affecting prices. So it's not just prices to go up, but like you said, there are external factors at play.
Absolutely.
Right after the pandemic, there was a big boom in demand for products, and because of this big boom in demand for products, small fish, not for saying like that, but like Belize, because our demand is so low, the bigger guys that have higher demand,
they get the first
preference. And so if we want something, we have to be willing to bid and pay a high price to get it into country. And that's been one of the challenges. And then you have, of course, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. that's causing increases in petroleum. So there's a lot of external factors that shocks a small market like Belize, similar to how climate change, huge external factors that shocks a small island nation like Belize.
I definitely hear that, and I wonder, and I hope that you tune into the conversation today. I wonder what it would take for us to begin to have a good balance of export-import ratio, because we do import more than we export. And it's a little bit, I guess I need somebody to explain that to me. It's a little bit strange for me that we import so much based on our population size. We grow our tomatoes, right? Why do we need to import other tomatoes? We grow our own carrots, we grow our own, but why is it that we're importing these same produce that we grow here at home? That's always my question about certain things, and as well as other products. But you're right, we have to consider external factors, and I am curious to see these numbers by the end of 2022.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it's like when we say when gas may go up, when fuel may go up, I say by the end of this year it will be $20 a gallon.
Aye.
That's my prediction.
No hurt me heart.
Got me half a drive from Belmopan, friend.
No hurt me heart. Listen, I drive home to gas station and I feel the pain. So I could only imagine. But here's a solution to your time constraint issue before we move on, April. You say we don't have time to plant, we don't have time to grow. We have a lot of young men out there, at-risk young men that are quote-unquote troublemakers, giving trouble in the street. Let's clear some land. We have a lot of land in the mountains.
See, and that is also right there that you mentioned. That's another. Let's
clear some mountainsides.
But that's another factor.
Let's get these guys out there building an industry.
Paul, that's another factor, because a lot of our untouched land, a lot of the land that is out there is not Belizean owned. And that's a whole other issue. We could go on into the amount of foreign land that we have, and that's why we're not investing in it as Belizeans, because it's not ours, quote unquote. Yeah, but that's a whole other conversation. We don't have time today.
We can't solve the problem on one Thursday morning.
No, we can't. But we have to move on in our show. And wherever you are, we know you're feeling the pinch of this state of our economy. Hopefully we can get some answers very soon, and try your best to plant a tomato. According to Paul, you can plant a tomato.
Or hire somebody in your neighborhood to plant a tomato for you.
But we have to move on, and we have to go into prepping you up for your motivation for today, and with our eye opener. And our eye opener is taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. Oh, it's not showing it. We always have the option to not participate in negativity or to find a way to create positive direction instead. Sometimes we start out with the best intentions to think and speak only positive thoughts, but the people around us throw us off course. Not everyone fully understands the power our thoughts and words have, or even if they do, they may be stuck in old patterns of negativity. Much of our habitual communication takes the form of complaining and criticizing. In the right company, you may be able to directly acknowledge the fact that things have taken a negative turn, thus freeing yourself and others from the negative pull. A powerful way to free yourself from the negative pull is to enlist allies who are similarly minded. The power of two people working to promote the positive is exponentially greater than one person working on their own. As you and your allies work together to lift the energy around you, you will be amazed to see how quickly the positive pull begins to draw people into its orbit, freeing one mind after another from negativity into light. You know that saying that says, "Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are"? That's kind of something like that.
Yeah.
I think that the energy that you have around you does sway the way you carry yourself out, and the attitude and the behavior that you portray to others. I always tell John this, on Friday, I could be drag up I could not feel the morning. I probably just want to get the day over with. And then he walks through the door singing and dancing and just being himself. And that already shifts the atmosphere of the entire room. Because now you're like, all right, we can do this. One person makes you feel positive, then you can start being positive as well.
I completely agree with that. Allies in this front are gems when
Very
you
true.
find them. And so it takes intentionally seeking out allies to create a positive environment.
Yeah, so find an ally, find somebody that will fuel your light and bring that to the forefront, because a positive mind would change your entire behavior just for the day, and it would bring forth probably surprising attributes. So find that ally today. But we have to get moving. And we'll have our general weather forecast brought to us by the National Meteorological Service of Belize this morning. They're already on the line. Good morning, Mr. Derek Rudon. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine, thank you.
Fine on this Thursday morning. Yes.
Hello?
I said fine on this Thursday morning.
All right, right.
Yes. So give us the general situation for today.
Okay, conditions continue moist and unstable over our area, but we're expecting a decrease in moisture and instability tonight and tomorrow.
All right. And the 24-hour forecast?
Okay, today skies will be cloudy at times with a few showers, periods of light rain and isolated thunderstorms, mainly over the coast this morning and then inland this afternoon. Tonight, cloudy with a few showers or thunderstorms over the south and some coastal areas.
And the winds?
Easterly at 5 to 15 knots and the sea state light to chop.
What about our temperatures?
Okay, highs today 86 along the coast, 90 inland, 75 up in the mountains. Lows tonight 78 along the coast, 70 inland, 64 up in the hills.
All right. And what is our outlook for Friday and Friday night?
Okay, we're expecting a decrease, like I said, so generally isolated showers, chance of a little more, but generally isolated, along with chance of isolated thunderstorms over the inland or southern areas.
With all of these weather changes, does the Meteorological Service have any warnings?
At the moment, no.
All right. Well, there you have it, our weather forecast for today and for tomorrow and tomorrow night. Thank you so much, Mr. Rodon.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye, you too.
All right. So there you have it. Weather changes. Climate change is real, people. Can we stop pretending like it's not?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. We
So
move
a
on.
little less rains.
A little less rains, but it's going into May, and May is also one of our scorching hot months. So if it continues to rain into May, definitely have to do like a chant or a dance or something for make it stop, because it's gonna mess up the hurricane season.
Yeah.
Anyways, but let's get into our show for this morning. We have 3 lovely segments lined up for you today, and our first conversation, we will have the U.S. Embassy with us this morning. They'll be talking to us about the application period for CARSI, the grant program, yes. And they will be here to explain to us the process and who can apply. So that will be a good conversation for today.
And in our second segment, April, we have our friends over at Digi.
DigiWallet.
In to speak to us about DigiWallet, Digi deals, device deals,
You don't
DigiNet
download
entry
it already.
plan, DigiNet increased fees. This segment, of course, will have everything. Digi, you know, when they come in, we barely have time for
That's
them
true.
to
That's
speak
too much
about
deals.
all the deals
much
and
deals.
then to give us an update on how this new method of payment is going. And so that's our second conversation.
All right, and then we'll end off our morning with ACES Wildlife Rescue. They will be talking about crocodiles. Yeah, and how, you know, they'll be talking about their importance in the ecosystem and other wildlife.
Coexisting with crocodiles?
Yes.
I coexist with some crocodiles.
You do? Where you live? Yeah, no,
Speaking
Paul.
metaphorically.
No, Paul. No. But that is our show for this morning. But before we get into it, we have to take our first break. And when we get back, U.S. Embassy will be here. Stay tuned.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
My name is Kenrick and I live in Belize City and I'm employed as an agent for a company that does reservations for hotels from all over the world. Since amputation, my life has changed minimally. Yes, I don't have my legs to get around, but I have always been an active person. So I do things a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more slower maybe, but I still get it done. Let's say they say we're going to some restaurant, wherever. I need to call and say, do you have access to a wheelchair? And they say, yes, of course. Then I would ask the second question, can I get into your restroom with a wheelchair? And then 99% of the time they'll say no. I would like to encourage everybody who has a disability to not give up. Never, 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 ever give up.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marion Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
All right, and we're back. Thank you for staying with us. As we told you right before the break, we have representatives from the U.S. Embassy with us. And so we have with us in studio a political officer at the U.S. Embassy, Sydney. Help me with your last name.
It's Scove.
Scove. Cindy Scove. With us, a political officer at the U.S. Embassy. And we also have Christine Valerio, who's the grant officer representative at U.S. Embassy, and they're here to talk to us all about CARSI, the CARSI 2022 program.
Yes.
Good morning,
Good
ladies.
morning, ladies.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to do this and having this important discussion about this opportunity. What can you tell us about CARSI and this program?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having us. We're both really excited to be here. So CARSI ESF, or the Economic Support Fund, is basically a grant program that's administered by the U.S. Embassy. I think you must know a little bit about it. To support civil society, to support nonprofit organizations kind of in their mission, working to promote transparent governance, accountability, and democracy, really in support of all Belizeans. And we're really excited because the grant application is open. It's live now. So that's why we're here today.
Tell us about why the U.S. Embassy began this program.
Well, these overarching themes, right, of democracy, transparency, and accountability, human rights writ large, these are incredibly important themes for the U.S. Embassy, for the U.S., and for Belize. And I think it kind of speaks about our shared values as countries.
As for Christine, I want to dive into the application process itself. So who can apply, and what are their qualifications that they need to have in order to be eligible for the application?
So the opportunity is open to legally registered nonprofit organizations, academia, and public entity organizations such as UNICEF or UNDP. So yes, you must be legally registered, and only organizations are eligible. In terms of the application process, I recommend that you take a look at the complete notice of funding opportunity that's available on our website, bz.usembassy.gov, and review the full details of the application so that you can, for the notice of funding opportunity, to see what the eligibility requirements are, as well as for all the parts of the application. We have templates that are available for the proposals.
Now, let's talk a bit about, well, first of all, you recognize that these are no small funds. This is large funds being given to organizations, local organizations. We're talking all the way up to $500,000 US dollars, correct? Speak, if you would, to some of the outcomes that we saw from previous CARSI programs, and how those kind of met the objectives that you sought for this program.
Sure. No, that's a great question. And you're correct. So what we have available is $500,000, and we are hoping to make a couple of grants with that money. So you're right. These are not small grants. These are substantial chunks of money, and the hope is that they can really propel organizations to do amazing projects that are really inspiring and have amazing outcomes. I'll let Christine maybe talk a bit more about some of the impacts that we've seen from our past projects.
So some of the impacts, we have some of the projects that looked at addressing disaster risks. And so we had a project in the Toledo district with Humana People for People that looked at putting certain providing certain trainings to some of the rural communities in Punta Gorda. You know, we have some of the communities like
Machakila,
that's quite remote, so they provided resources so they can get telecommunication services. So in the event of a disaster, the communities have training and the resources so that they could respond and provide that immediate support for their communities before like NEMO can get into the community and provide those support. We have other projects that looked at providing training for public officers, looking at building capacity for civil society organizations through networking with the Belize network of organizations. And it all was surrounding improving that governance, improving how do we improve service delivery for some of the vulnerable communities that we have.
What are perhaps some of the priority areas identified, if any at all, for this specific programs, areas of interest you're looking at to say if these types of proposals come up, we may consider these as priority?
Sydney?
So we do keep this a little bit broad. We're talking about good governance and democracy, right? So that does allow some leeway for organizations to be creative in how they propose different projects. But within that, we are narrowing our focus a little bit, and that's specifically on service delivery, as Christine mentioned. We're also looking just more at governance, transparency, accountability, kind of in the civil service sector, partnerships with governments to move towards that. And one more specific one we're looking at is counter-trafficking, and that focuses more on like citizen security, but also within transparency and accountability, I would say.
Would you speak a bit to service delivery and what it means? Because I've heard it's come up more than once.
Definitely. So I'll let Christine give a bit more specific examples, but in general, it's about what services are available. So often what's available through the government that might not be reaching either remote communities or other communities, just given distance, given time, given space, given there are different obstacles, right, to having something available and then the distribution of that thing. So really trying to build those connections to make sure that people who need something, whatever that service might be, access to education, healthcare, curriculum, it could be any one of those things, making sure those connections are made.
You satisfied?
Yes, and I think Sydney did a great job at explaining exactly that.
Yeah, because I mean, I would imagine it's a program that impacts the people on the ground. It's a program that as I understand it, it helps the vulnerable, the most vulnerable. For example, if you have a community that needs a clinic, lacking in health services, the program, through this program, an organization can come and develop or establish a healthcare center per se and offer these services. So I see where it impacts communities. If you would, Sydney or my friend Christine, speak to what it means to you personally working with this program and seeing the impact in the lives that I did.
Yeah, that's a really nice question. Thank you for that. Well, for me, I worked with small NGOs in my past. So just being able to support grassroots organizations to the larger organizations that are really filling some of these gaps, making the connections between government and civil society and communities, that to me is where the magic happens. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I can even say it better than that. I feel very honored to be able to help support this program through the U.S. Embassy, but also the fact that we get to work with really inspiring organizations.
What are some? Can you give some examples of some organizations that have applied and have gotten this grant here in Belize, and their success stories maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've gotten to meet a couple that are super inspiring. I think I'm going to let Christine talk a bit more about the details.
Some of the organizations we've worked with in the past or who've been awarded grants, where we have the Love Foundation, we have Humana, People for People, People to People, we have Trust for the Americas, we have Youth Enhancement Services, which recently closed the grant. When we talk about successes, we're looking at projects that help to develop curriculum and work with the Ministry of Education to enhance the curriculum or enhance the education sector. We have projects that looked at enhancing health services. Right now we have a project with Belize Heroes that is working with firefighters. And one of the things, when we're talking about successes, we're looking at building capacity of our firefighters. that's success in itself, and elevating their responsibilities to doing emergency response, providing that emergency response services. While that project is still ongoing, we already see some of those successes and in building capacity, which is key. Once you're trained, they always say, build capacity, and it never leaves. So those are some of the wonderful things that the projects have done.
How long has this program been in existence?
Well, CARSE ESF was initiated in Belize in 2012. 2012, and since then we have provided support to non-profit organizations and provided funding in about a little over $9.3 million.
Wow!
Since 2012.
So a decade of this program.
Yes.
$9.3 million. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Perhaps more needs to be done in terms of highlighting all that this program has done, because we're sitting here and I'm listening and I'm hearing, fire service, healthcare, education. I'm hearing all of these stuff, and I work in the newsroom, so perhaps I have encountered some groundbreaking. Maybe I've encountered some opening of different locations where these things happen, where these monies are invested. If we could delve a bit into what good governance means in this program, and perhaps a couple examples of good governance there. And I'm sure you may have mentioned it a bit, but just to speak about what we mean when we speak about good governance and how this program supports that.
Well, just to comment on the first part of your statement, that makes us feel really good that you want to hear more. And we have some initiatives in the works to get more information out there, because these are really inspiring and awesome stories, amazing organizations. I had the opportunity to meet several of the groups working on these projects recently, thanks to Christine's initiative through the U.S. Embassy, and it was so inspiring. I think when we talk about good governance, it's a good question because we do keep it a little bit broad. But as Christine has been describing, that can actually manifest in a couple of different ways. So we say service delivery, that also sounds a bit broad, but really it's about these important kind of like pieces of just life for everyday people, and that could just be education curriculum, improving the curriculum, improving like trainings for supervisors of teachers. That's a project that's happening now. These pieces that, as a person who's not an education expert myself, I might not be thinking about, but it's so important in the Belizean educational context. Are there other pieces that we should talk about in terms of good governance?
In terms of good governance, we're also looking at, when we're talking about anti-corruption, how do we address those? It's looking at improving some of the, enhancing transparency in service delivery, for example. And we have projects with, for example, with Trust for the Americas that look at innovative projects to take us from that paper-based way of doing things and take us to technology. And there are projects that are upcoming that look at enhancing those opportunities. So good governance is a wide topic and a focus. And in our notice of funding opportunity, we have specific objectives for when developing the proposal. So they must meet one or all three of the objectives that are listed within the notice of funding opportunity. And I can talk about it over and over. But it helps to take a look at the notice of funding opportunity and have a clear understanding of what is being requested, and it provides examples of some of the areas or some of the activities that would be feasible, but it's not limiting. Don't limit yourself. And I always say, when you're developing these proposals, think about your audience, think about the people who are reviewing. We have absolutely no idea about what initiative or mandate your organization has. So sell this project idea to me, sell it to me so that I want to buy it.
See, that was going to be my next question, because you often have new up-and-coming NGOs. This is the first time they're looking at grants, and they're hearing about grants that could support their initiative. Maybe they've never written a proposal before, or they might not know what needs to be in their proposal in order to make it like that seller. So what kind of advice would you give Jumpstart or first starting NGOs that want to write this proposal and might not know exactly what to put in it or what is important to have in it and so forth?
So, well, two things.
Yes.
We have an upcoming, I can speak about this all day. We have an upcoming question and answer session that will dive into the notice of funding opportunity and break it down and provide feedback and examples. And this is a great opportunity for the public, and especially for organizations that will be new, to be able to ask the questions that they want about the process, about what project activities might be more feasible, and on what sections. The notice of funding opportunity also provides details on what developing a proposal, what are some of the sections that are required. You know, you need your executive summary that provides that general overview. If there's nothing else that the panel will pick up, it's the executive summary. So make sure that information, what I want to achieve, what the impact will be, how I plan to do it, and at what cost. Those are the key things that would, for example, go in your executive summary. But that sort of details would be available during our question and answer session that's happening on the 4th of May, and it will be a Facebook Live event. So you can tune in and ask your questions via Facebook, or send us an email at BEMOPAN-CARSI, spell out the BEMOPAN, CARSI ESF at state.gov, and send your questions, or give us a call at the embassy, and we'd be happy to help. There are other resources, templates that are also made available for organizations that are, might be new, or just want to be a bit more familiar with what the requirements are for a good proposal, a sound proposal.
Have you ever had proposals come in that are so lofty and unfeasible, but are commendable because of the objectives that the organization is seeking to meet?
Of course.
Yeah.
We always have those. It's always it's $500,000 for this cycle, but it's never enough.
It's never enough.
You know, when you have 30 proposals that come in and you only have a small pot of funds, or a pot of funds available. So we always have the proposals that are great, wonderful proposal, but it is a competitive process. And so we have a panel that makes the decision based on technical criteria on who would be who would be recommended for these funding.
And the needs out there, I'm sure the U.S. Embassy, you've done your research and you know what are the needs out there in terms of the objectives that the project seeks to meet. However, are you ever perhaps surprised, or do you, during the process, learn of new needs or new objectives or arena investments?
Well, I've only been in Belize for a couple of months, so I'm learning constantly. So the research that I had done coming into my role, I've learned an immense amount just through knowing about the projects that are being supported through CARSI ESF. Have you been surprised?
Yes. And what we try to do is that we review the proposals, and we then look at what were some of the needs and what were some of that reoccurring proposals, or the reoccurring ideas, and then we try to feed that into the next cycle, or other opportunities that might come up throughout the year, so we're able to meet the needs, because the notice of funding opportunity is created, the area of focus is based on the decision from Congress, but it also is aligned with what the needs are for the country. So that is key.
Does each proposal require a level of, a budget in it, so that you can see how the funds will be distributed? And then does that sway your decision making, as well as being able to provide for a good amount of organizations? So because you have 500,000, I imagine that could be distributed among at least 3 or 4 organizations.
We hope so.
Yeah?
We hope so, yeah. I think we'll take a look at what the organizations are asking for based on their project. So it's more about looking at how they propose to use the funds.
Yeah, and it's important to note that all the proposals, after initial screening for eligibility, making sure they meet the main eligibility requirements, and make sure it's a complete proposal, then it goes to a panel that neither myself or Sydney sits on. So it goes to a technical panel who reviews it based on different criteria: content, sustainability, the budget, making sure it's aligned with the budget, and making sure that the expenses or the activities are allowable and feasible. And that panel makes then makes a recommendation for whether or not these proposals go further to the other step and are approved by our charge d'affaires. So there is a process, and in terms of whether or not organizations want to know what that technical review entails, the notice of funding opportunity has a section that's specifically on how the proposals are scored. So I recommend that if organizations are interested in applying, take a look at the NOFO, take a look at the sections of the proposals that we look for, and also take a very keen look at the technical review criteria, so that you know exactly what this panel is looking for, and making sure that in developing your proposal, it meets those needs. For example, sustainability. After I've given you this $250,000 and activities have been completed over a 2-year period, what next? That is also key. What next? How do we look at sustainability, and also looking at the impact? What impact will this project have? If I'm going to do training, I'm not just expecting that from a technical review point, it's not just looking at I'm going to train 50 individuals, but we train them, and then what happens afterward? What's going to be the outcome? What's going to be the impact? Are you going back to your organization and put in place, making changes to policies so we have better outcomes? So that sort of thing are the things that we definitely do look at.
If you're granting an organization such a large sum of money, I would imagine there is also monitoring and accountability in the process of implementation, correct?
Yes. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not the subject matter expert in this part. Christine definitely would be. But of course, we want to make sure that not only are we there to support the organizations that we've been investing in, but also that we're there to make sure that they're moving forward on their path, right?
Exactly. And we do the follow-up. We will do the site visits, both technical and financial. So we look at what has been happening and making sure, and it's the site visits or the reviews aren't only for us to say, are you really doing what you're supposed to be doing, but it's also an opportunity for us to sit down and talk about what are some of the challenges maybe you might have in implementation, and the grant officer, Sydney, would look at, how do we fix this? How can we help? What type of support we can provide? It's always key. The project management process, communication is a key part of that process. Letting us know the good and the bad, so that assistance, whatever the technical assistance, can definitely be provided in a timely fashion.
That was going to be my next question. Is there a time frame that the project needs to be implemented and completed within a particular cycle in order to fit the eligibility to get this grant?
So the projects have to be implemented over a 2-year period. A 2-year. And expected start is at the end of September. So
this
October.
year.
Yes.
So let's as we bring it to a wrap, in terms of so it's open. You have to call for applications. It's open. Where can persons go to send in their applications or to get more information? And what's the deadline?
Absolutely. Yes, so it is open now. We're very excited. It's technically called the Notice of Funding Opportunity, as Christine has mentioned, but basically it's a call for proposals, exactly like you said. So it is available on grants.gov. You can also find it through our website. You can also find it on our Facebook. And we're going to be posting about it on our Facebook pretty regularly. So the links will be there and available.
Yeah, and the closing date is?
And the closing date is June 2nd.
At midnight.
I have the last seconds are important.
The last second is important.
So, and also remember, we have the Q&A session, the question and answer session that is going to be happening, and a great opportunity for the public to ask the questions that they might have. And we'd have the grant officer there providing answers and responses for those questions that might be necessary. So feel free. This is a perfect opportunity to ask those questions that maybe you're not seeing enough information about about a particular area, or you're unsure, or you need additional technical assistance. That is definitely where you need to do it. Please do not ask the questions if it's 1 week before the day, before June 2nd, and that's when you're asking all the questions, because you might, it's not enough time.
Yes.
Develop a proposal development process takes some time. It definitely does take some time, and don't wait for the last minute, because then you miss out on a great opportunity. This is free money. All you have to do is make sure you are delivering on what you're supposed to. So,
any last words for our viewers? Anything else that you might want them to know?
I think mostly that we're just really excited that this is happening now.
Yeah.
I personally am very thrilled to see the projects that come in once we get to that stage.
Yeah.
So just sending encouragement out to organizations to please apply, take advantage of the opportunity. Do read the notice of funding opportunity, and please don't be overwhelmed. We know that it can be a competitive and tedious, potentially, process, but take it as a challenge and also an opportunity.
and again, ask your questions. Reach out and ask your questions. If you don't ask, we don't know that you need the assistance and the support. And we will be constantly, from now up to June 2nd, we'll be constantly putting out information on our Facebook page, different templates, different information, like, did you know this? Different tips that can be extremely helpful. And another tip is, remember that you can reach out to an organization. If you're a smaller upcoming organization, reach out to maybe a more established organization to give you a little bit of tips. That mentoring relationship, reach out to them. So remember, the deadline is the 2nd of June. Our Q&A session is on the 4th of May at 2 p.m. We have the flyer and information on our website, belize.usembassy.gov, and also on our Facebook page. All the information is there.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of the projects that will come out of this program. And so at the end of this year, going into next year, we'll look out to see some of the beginning of some of those projects. Ladies, thank you both so much for traveling all the way from Belmopan to be here with us on such an early morning, and do hope you both have a safe and dry Thursday. So with that, we'll wrap up this segment and we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we have the folks over there at Digi who will be joining us in studio to talk all about Digi Wallet, Digi Promotions, DigiNet, everything Digi. You don't want to miss that, so stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Hi, I'm Chef Sean Quillen. I love cooked fish fillet, and I prefer to get my fish straight at the fish market right here at Conchel Bay. But you see, sometimes you come out here and you don't know what you're getting. The fish has no label, it has no patch of skin. But don't worry about it. I am here today to teach you how to avoid fish fraud. When purchasing your fillet, remember to look out for the patch of skin required by law. Or you could tell them by the physical characteristics: long and slender, barracuda; nice white meat, hogfish. The deep bloodline from the bow to the stand, that is jack. When buying in bulk or buying out of a bag, make sure to inspect each fillet individually to avoid what we call in a Creole, pussy in a bag. What a pussy in a bag? Fraud. If that's not the help you, because even for me as a professional chef at this man for 40 years, that's really challenging. All I could tell you is buy from a reputable source or buy it whole. And if all of that's not available to you, just go to fishrighteatright.com and we at Oceana have a fish identification chart. Because guess where you're going now? We talk about bloodline just now one thing, and that's a snapper, right? Classic snapper. What kind of snapper this?
This is nurse shark.
Nurse shark. Highly illegal. No make they trick you, no make you buy pussy in a bag. Do the right thing. Fish right, eat right.
Staying connected with your loved ones while traveling is even more important during this global pandemic. With Digi, this is even easier and more convenient with our data roaming plans. Postpaid customers have instant access to mobile data when in 41 destinations worldwide. With 3 affordable plans, starting at only $28, it's easy to instantly connect via your favorite digital platform. To purchase your data roaming plan, contact Digi before your travel date. If you are already abroad, you can contact us via email at digihelp@livedigi.com or via WhatsApp at 608-8888. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com/digicel or visit a Digi store near you. You can roam, stay safe, and stay connected with Digi.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marion Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
are back with our friends from Digi here today to talk to us about Digi Wallet, device deals, all the things Digi. And in studio we have with us the Digi Wallet Digi Wallet representative,
so well, April.
Ariadne Gomez, and program manager Tanya Tillett. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, April.
Thank you guys for having us.
So,
Good morning, Paul.
Tell me all things Digi. Talk to me. Give me the
Okay,
deals.
so right now, Digi Wallet, if you haven't downloaded your Digi Wallet, I implore that you do, right? Because they have some very attractive promotions going. They've been running since March 29th. The running period ends April the 30th, which is this Saturday. So there are 5 promotions. The first one is exclusive to merchants, which is you get to win 1 year free DigiNet service if you're a merchant that processes the most Digi Wallet transactions.
Wow.
So, you know.
So let's stop there a bit. Merchants, you have the digital wallet service at your store, at your business establishment, and if you're able to process the most Digi Wallet transactions, so you refer to it, within what period?
So this ends Saturday, right?
Okay.
So the winner would be announced, well, it was running from March 29th,
Okay,
so
March
it would
29th.
have had to been from March 29th to Saturday.
So like a full month,
yeah,
like a full month period.
Yes.
And so you've been able to process the most transaction at your business establishment, and you get to win yourself a full
year of free
of
DigiNet
free internet.
Yes.
What Netflix can done, YouTube can done, whatever you watch.
Yeah. The idea is that, you know, we encourage businesses, you know, to encourage customers as well to use Digi Wallet, right? So we want to get customers familiar with it, businesses familiar with it, and, you know, we want to eventually make it a household name.
That's interesting. So the vendor then kind of has an encouragement to tell the customer,
like, do
hey,
you have the
Digi Wallet? We use that. You should download it and
pay with it.
Pay with it. It's fast and easy, and then the customer may become more encouraged to do that. Next promotion.
Okay. So that was the first, the free
Yeah.
DigiNet service for the merchant. The second one is geared toward the subscriber, which is the subscriber that conducts the most person-to-person and bill payment transfers. Gets a chance to win $100 DigiCash, and there will be top 3 selected winners for this promo.
So $300
yes, that will be given away.
to customers.
3
The 3 customers.
3 customers.
3 subscribers.
Yeah.
Right?
And that one is you
pay merchants.
You pay your bills. Pay your bills, or you pay
You do bill payments
Bill
and you
payments.
conduct person-to-person transfers.
bill payments like so you're
pay a
telling me that
DigiBill.
with Digi
You
Wallet
pay
you could
DigiBill.
pay your
The
light
Digi-
bill, your water bill, your phone bill.
Well,
all this and
for
that.
now you can pay. For now you can pay your DigiBill. Sorry,
DigiBill.
Yeah, we.
Oh, so we're talking about the DigiBill.
The phone bill. Yes.
The phone bill, your internet bill.
Yes.
Yes.
Those
with
2 for
Digi.
now.
Okay.
Yes. The others coming soon.
Yes.
Right?
All right, good.
Yes.
So you pay your DigiBill, and you do person-to-person transfers, and you could win yourself $100. How do you get into that raffle? Do you just choose the name, take the name of your customers, and put them together in one?
Yes.
Okay.
We do random selection.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Each
automatically
person
enter.
wins 300.
103 persons will win $100
That's
each.
a lot of
I
money.
mean, it is. Right now I could do it at $100.
Pigtail prices, they're high. If you reach a pigtail
$800 and be good.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, moving
Next
on
deal.
to the third, the subscriber who makes the most purchases at merchants. This one is interesting because
tricky,
yes, they are able to win $50 DigiCash, and there will be 6 winners for this promo, 1 per district.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay. So you tell me, if I have a Digi Wallet and I go and I compete against April, but say who could purchase the most within a week or
The month.
A month.
April,
But the thing is, April, we purchase on a daily basis.
Yes.
You know, we go and we buy our grocery perhaps once every 2 weeks. for example,
yeah, but
and
like
we
on
spend.
day-to-day basis, you want to spend on a random lunch, or
Yeah.
you want to spend on a coffee, or you want to spend
Gas.
you need some gas.
Gas.
You might need an emergency. You need to
Right.
go to a
Pharmacy.
stationery store,
Yeah.
a pharmacy.
So
day-to-day
it's not
payments.
even about purchasing more, increasing your purchases. It's
just-
about using the
Using
wallet
it,
to make
yeah.
your purchases.
Yeah.
See, you're trying to incorporate it in your everyday life.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Okay, moving on to the
Competing.
fourth. No.
Okay, you go in for Belize, and then I'll win for Kayo.
Moving on to the fourth one. So this one is the friend referral. If you've downloaded the app and you're familiar with it, you'll notice at the More tab there's an option to invite a friend, right? So if the top 3 subscribers, depending on how much people they refer or invite through DigiWallet, they'll be able to also be in the running to win $100 DigiCash. So
Okay.
we'll have 3 winners for this one as well, the top 3.
So refer a friend.
Yes.
How
do you
will
know?
how do
Yeah.
you know
How-
that somebody is referred?
Okay,
friend?
well, we have our database there that can tell us, and
Yeah, we
I
can
leave
tell.
that up to our
Okay.
IT
So when I
team
tell
to
you
deal with that.
Robots to take over the world.
Yeah.
It's things like that where they know things. They know.
So you know when people refer.
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can
know.
tell. Yes.
All right.
We can see how many of your friends you sent it to, or how many of our friends you
Oh,
sent it
nice.
I'm not tell you that kind of.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean they use information.
But then they win the prize. So
Right. So
Yeah.
you could win $100.
Dollars
How many?
DigiCash.
how many-
Three subscribers,
winners?
the top 3.
okay, and they win
Yeah.
100 each.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a nice incentive to encourage a friend to
Yes.
take advantage
Yes,
of this
of the
service,
Yeah,
Digital
yeah.
Wallet. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's 4.
Four
You have
deals.
another one
You have
for
one
us.
more?
Yes, the last, the
Alright.
final one.
This is
It's
the $10,000 prize.
yeah, it's something
Not
close to
Christmas.
that.
So Christmas, you come back with it, right?
Hey, come on now.
But it's still very
We'll see.
attractive because the price is an iPhone 13 Pro Max.
That
Who
would have
doesn't want that?
$1,000 April.
It's a couple $1,000,
Yeah, that's a couple
right?
thousand.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
So the criteria to win this prize is you have to visit a merchant, make sure you complete a purchase, and so purchases at the most number of DigiWallet merchants. Make sure you visit and complete a purchase.
Okay, so repeat that again. You
Purchase at
complete-
the most merchants.
let me
So
get that.
you need to be familiar with the merchants in the different locations and make sure you target them.
When we say
Target
merchant, we
them.
mean shop.
Yeah, shop.
Yeah,
vendor.
all right.
DigiWallet,
The vendors
yes.
that uses DigiWallet.
DigiWallet.
Takes
Takes,
DigiWallet.
yes, as a form of
So let me
payment.
just
yes.
clarify this for
Yeah.
our viewers. So the criteria for to win the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the subscriber who visits and completes a purchase at the most number of DigiWallet merchants. That's
So I mean, this is our challenge,
our
April.
challenge.
Because first
It
you have to
is.
know
Where they are.
Yes.
And we have a list on our website.
Okay.
If you go on our website, we
Okay.
have a list. And we even have an interactive map feature, so you could pull up the little map feature and you'll see all the little merchants start to pop up.
Okay.
So it's on the website, and then digiwallet.bz, and then we also have it in the app. So if you go on the app, in the same little tab that says more, click on that, and you see agent merchant locator.
Yeah.
This is a good opportunity to ask about your merchants. For those who may not be aware, do you have merchants for restaurants? You
Yes, we have
for
restaurants,
groceries?
we have
Tell us
bars,
what are some of the-
groceries,
bars.
we have gas stations. We
Gas
have a wide
stations.
selection. We have
Okay.
entrepreneurs, our local businesses. We have a wide array though.
Okay.
We have a long list of merchants. So if you go on our website, you'll see all of them in all the districts that we have them available.
So I'm actually pulling up my app right now so that you
Go
can
ahead.
see, right? The convenience of having the agent merchant locator. So you select there, and then it takes you to the website, which is divided by the districts and their location. So see, Belize City, Belmopan, Keycaulker, Corozal. These are
all
San
places
Pedro,
that
we have them all over.
merchants already.
Okay.
Hotels. I mean,
Just
Yes.
keep it up
Just
there.
keep it there.
Yeah,
They'll
so
get it.
so you have each district, you divide them into districts, and then
Towns.
from the districts into towns, and so you could see your merchants where they are based on where
You'll
you
see
are.
their address, so you could see their address. You could
So
see.
if you expand, there you have their business name, and then their merchant code and their address. So this merchant code is a really interesting and convenient feature because in order to do a purchase, you don't need to physically be at the business place to scan the QR code. All you need to have is the merchant code to insert and make payment.
And then the transfer goes through
directly.
This one here, number 5. For me, it would be a good exercise routine for the day.
I mean, you don't have to go physically though. That's what she's trying to say. You don't even have to leave the convenience of your home.
Oh, really? So it doesn't matter the distance?
No. So you can be on your couch on a Saturday night, and let's say you want to order food. So if you Santo Taco right here at Belize City. So for example, right, let's say Chonsan, their QR code or their merchant code is 8888. I know it already because you'd have been ordering often. So I can order whatever I like from them, insert the amount that is due, make the transfer, and all I need to do is pick up.
So what do you
have it delivered.
What do you call that transfer? Is that a person-to-person transfer? No.
Okay,
you go in the app and you'll do a pay merchant.
Pay merchant transfer.
Yeah, pay merchant. So I logged out.
All right.
Next time you guys come on, we'll have a full video.
But that goes for, I mean, any business. I mean, we have some businesses there that are, you know, like the entrepreneurs. They do a lot of online sales. So this is very ideal for them. You pay them online using their merchant code, and you know they ship your stuff BPMS, Tropic Air. So it's very convenient. It's not that you have to physically be at a store to just like scan the QR code.
In terms of the amount that a merchant should accept or would accept in terms of purchase.
Well, what they can accept is not limited. What a customer can transact is limited. We have different we have different wallet levels. Everybody signs up and gets a standard or a low level wallet,
which is
the transactions. 1 minute, let me log into my app so I can
go right ahead.
So we have 3 wallet levels: the silver, gold, and platinum. Right. Each wallet level has a different holding limit. So that's how you can differentiate whether or not which one you'll select.
Do you know the holding limit?
The holding limit for silver is, I think,
ballpark figures.
Yeah, ballpark figures.
Somewhere around like 500.
Yeah, and then the gold is from up to I think 5,000, and the platinum is 50,000 and up.
Wow. These are I mean people using 50,000 or holding $50,000 or that or thereabout on the digital wallet. That's some trust in the app. Trust that my money is safe and my money is secure.
But what happens is if you do want a higher level wallet, because I mean it is a financial service, you know, we are regulated just like any other financial service. So if you do want a higher level, you would need to come into our offices and provide maybe like a job letter just to say that you're able to transact these amounts, you know. But everybody gets a standard wallet, and then if you want more, well then you come into our office and make that request.
Does the app work only with internet and Wi-Fi? Can you use it offline?
Yes.
Yes, so we are whitelisted.
Okay.
So yes, once you've registered through the app, you're able to access it without data or internet by running a USSD code. So all you need to insert in your keypad is star cash pound, which is equivalent, I think, to star 2247 pound.
Okay.
Right?
How we talked about the merchant's code, which is an interesting thing for merchants, like businesses online, businesses across the country, restaurants. How does a merchant get a merchant code or become a digital wallet merchant?
Okay, well, they need to be onboarded. They need to fill out a merchant sign-up form. So they can do self-onboarding through the app, or they can use the office with our sales team. We have 4 sales representatives that are readily available. So those are the 2 options, self-onboarding or through our sales team.
All right. So 5 DigiWallet promotions.
One
Let's
more
see if we
time.
can get that correct. April.
I
the
can't.
first one, the merchant that processes the most DigiWallet transactions. The second one is the
Customers.
DigiWallet customer
Yeah.
that pays
The
their
merchant.
Person to
bill,
person.
person to person,
And
and
their
pays their
bill.
Their bill.
Via DigiWallet.
Via DigiWallet, and they get to win money prizes.
Mhm.
The third one is, help me out,
The subscriber who makes the most purchases.
subscriber who makes the most purchases. I know they have one where you shop at the most, or
Yeah,
refer.
different referral.
Fourth one is refer a friend.
And then the last one
The last one is purchase at the most DigiWallet merchants. And there's money prizes involved in all of these,
there's an
except
iPhone prize.
for the last one where
Yes.
there's an iPhone
iPhone
13. When are we drawing that?
So
The
Ms.
end of
Tanya,
Next week,
next
we'll
week.
announce the winners. Monday's a holiday, so like
I
by
have
Wednesday.
a week for go and shop a
I
classic
asked
country.
you if you may download it and you never watch me. So
Hey, we have a
you
week.
need to
Well, now's your
download it.
chance.
Now
Now's
is
your
my
it's
chance.
a challenge. You
Yeah.
have one more week of holiday. You could do it. You could do it.
I can
believe in you.
help you. Like, I can help you go
Yeah.
through the process. I'm
Sure,
here.
just put some money on my DigiWallet and
use it to
go
go.
and shop till we drop.
I could make $50 into DigiWallet, $500.
So let's talk a bit about some other promotions we have going on at Digi.
At
Unless you
Digi.
want to talk a bit more about DigiWallet, I understand.
No, we
there's other
do.
promotions
Yes, we
ongoing.
do. Oh, yes. One big thing that we do want to mention tomorrow is a double day.
Double.
Again, if you have the DigiWallet,
Yeah.
while tomorrow is a double day, if you have the DigiWallet
put $50
and you
to
buy
get
top up
100.
You can
from the
triple
DigiWallet,
your credit.
you get triple.
Oh.
So that's the catch here. Download your wallet today, visit our Digi stores, top up your wallet, and then tomorrow, purchase your top up using the DigiWallet. So instead of getting double, you get triple.
So how does that work in purchasing? You don't purchase directly from DigiWallet. You go to a merchant, correct?
Yes, you would buy through the app.
Okay, so you
you
can
would
buy
through
credit
the
Yeah,
through the
so
app.
this is so attractive and so convenient
It's
and
another
a
convenience.
time
Yes.
saver because you can not only buy credit for yourself, but you can purchase for a friend or for another person. All you need to do is pull them up from your contact list, or if you know their number by heart, insert it, and once you have funds in your wallet, you have spending power.
Now let me tell you why that saves me time here, bro. Because I have a sister that always asks me for credit, and she know like every
And then
week,
what? As
every
you're like
weekend.
11 o'clock tonight.
Right, and I'd be like, sis, shop done shit.
Close, yeah.
Where I go get credit from? Or sometimes I just relax good, or sometimes I'm busy at work, and bro, I get a credit now. I can't do it right now. But imagine with the DigiWallet, I could actually purchase.
No, yes, you have no excuse.
All right, see.
All
come
you
on,
need to do
man.
is make sure you have money in there.
Come on, man. That's amazing.
You can also buy like mobile data or the roaming data from the app
Straight
as well.
from the DigiWallet
So
app.
if your sister, maybe you call her and you're like, sis, why not answer my WhatsApp?
Yeah.
And I got data. Hold
Yeah.
on, let me buy you a data package.
Wow.
You could
Okay.
do that for your
That's great.
postpaid and your prepaid customers.
Okay. So we're saying purchase your credit tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
From DigiWallet,
Wallet.
and you get triple up. Long time when I hear about a triple.
Yeah, well, no, well, the
Exactly.
last time our friends from Digi were here, they mentioned the triple, and I should have get the Digi wallet from them.
And then too, Double Up will be available for the rest of the country.
Countrywide, yes. Countrywide, yes.
Okay, at all
Yes.
merchants. So this
Just as
doesn't
normal,
include- Yeah.
any other normal double day.
But you have to pay with Digi wallet.
No.
Only if you want triple tomorrow.
Only if you want triple, but if you want double, which
You
is
could go,
just
you
as
could get
good.
at your regular neighborhood
Merchant.
stores, yeah.
You ever get a double burger that satisfying? Well, triple are for big eye people, but you always have with a triple because you could never have enough.
So we really encourage the public to download their DigiWallet if they haven't already, to take advantage of the promos that are often given through DigiWallet.
Yes, we have very exclusive promotions on the DigiWallet specifically for Digicel subscribers. So while you're at Digicel or you're with the other service provider, you can register for our service, but Digicel customers, they do enjoy exclusive promotions on this app, like this triple up that we're going to offer them tomorrow through the app, right? And then right now we actually conveniently have a make the switch promotion. So even if you're with Smart, you can still sign up, but I mean, we still encourage you, to come over to the Digi family. So just come to our offices, give in your Smart SIM, and we give you 1 gig LTE data, a free SIM, and $10 bonus credit. So
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Any other promotions you want to talk to us about?
Just our $49 internet plan. It's the newest DigiNet internet plan on the market. It's only $49. Nobody can't beat that right now.
$49.99.
Yes, $49. Yes, flat. $49.
Nice.
Yes, and you get 20 megs of speed with that. It's ideal. Summer is coming up. It's good for the students, for school. Some of them are still doing online. Summer is coming up. They'll want to watch, their shows and so while they're at home. So we encourage people, to sign up for that one as well.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the DigiWallet movement. And I do hope that it catches on the way it should be catching on.
It offers a lot of, it offers a lot of convenience. We find that some areas are very responsive. We need to work a little harder in some other areas, but we're getting there. Customers are picking it up bit by bit, and along with the promotions, it's helping. We're gonna encourage customers to come out next month. We have Agric. So that's another big ticket item for us.
Merchants will be out there.
Yes, our Digi merchants will be out at the Agric showground. So yes, you can expect, to see them out there. We will be there as always. It's been years, so the excitement is building up. People are looking forward to our giveaways, our promotions, and yes, DigiWallet will be there, and we'll have lots to offer. So, make sure. Keep an eye out for that. We have May promotions coming up, Mother's Day. We have lots to offer.
Every month. Once you have the DigiWallet app, though, you keep up with all things Digi and all things promotion.
Well, we encourage people to follow our social media. We have a DigiWallet page for on Instagram and a DigiWallet page on Facebook. So that's where you will know what are the latest promotions, and sometimes we send you an SMS blast too. So there are ways that you can stay in touch and learn or always know what the latest are with DigiWallet.
All right.
So for Agric, we'll be out there, and if you haven't yet signed up for your DigiWallet, I encourage you to bring an ID, either your passport or your social security card, because we'll be out there to help, to assist, so we can have you subscribe.
By chance, the giveaway free at the cops.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of giveaways.
That's an idea. It's an idea.
Just a DigiWallet at the cop, and just give me that, and I will walk around with that top of my head.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna advertise. Okay,
come on, it's the exchange. I have one last question before we wrap up, though. If you lose your physical wallet, you lose your money. If you lose your, let's say, if I lose my physical wallet, but if I lose my phone that has my digital wallet, do I lose my money?
No.
How does that
Well,
work?
for starters, every time you log into your app, you enter a 6-digit code that only you know, of course. Some people have a code already on their phone, so it's like, double protection. If you have a code on your phone and then you need another code to enter your app, and once your app is not active for like about 10 seconds or so, it logs you out. So, even if you say, make a hurry run, go do something, and you left it there, somebody can't just quickly come and take your phone, and because it's going to lock you out.
Similar to the protection you get on a bank account on your phone.
Yes.
So it's like an ATM pin. If someone does not have your pin, they can't access your money.
Yeah. And then you can also reach out to us if it is that, at some point in time you lost your phone. We have our WhatsApp 623-8887 and our toll-free number 0800-392-5538. Give us a call, send us a WhatsApp and say, I lost my phone, can you please suspend my account? That way nothing happens with your account.
That's a good one.
Ladies,
so we have options.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being here.
One more time. 5 news. One more time.
Let's go.
Oh, I need them to do it. I can't. Yeah, I can't do it.
Okay, the merchant one, right? Free DigiNet service. 1 year free DigiNet service. Make sure that they process the most transactions via DigiWallet. I'll read it off because yes, okay. Criteria, right? Merchant who processes the most transactions via DigiWallet, 1 year free DigiNet service. Subscribers who conduct the most person-to-person and bill payment transfers get a chance to win $100 DigiCash, and there will be 3 winners selected for this. Subscriber who makes the most purchases at merchants gets a chance to win $50 DigiCash, and there will be 6 winners for this, 1 per district. Top 3 subscribers who successfully refer the most friends via the DigiWallet app get a chance to win $100 DigiCash, 3 winners also. And then the last one is the prize, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which goes to the subscriber who visits and completes a purchase at the most number of DigiWallet merchants.
All right, well, if you don't know now,
now you know.
Now you know.
Yes.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
We hope to hear these fabulous winners next week.
Next week they'll be on social media.
All right. With that, we're going to take our next break, and when we get back, crocodiles. Crocodiles. Stay tuned. We'll be here live on Channel 5.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
We were born connected to the water, the deep blue, the soil, the salt air, sheer abundance, ritual, water, expectation of the catch, the wind and waves. What lay beneath filled our bellies, sustained our communities. But song fell to a whisper. Her rituals were lost. Communities changed. But now, that song beckons us back to the sea. The generations that came before, and for the generations still to come. Thriving, abundant sea is possible. Rebuilding fish populations can be our legacy.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind the scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high. Better not drive, won't even try.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high. Better not drive, ain't gon' try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high. Better not drive, ain't gon' try. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. People die every day, I'm not going with ya. I'ma find my own way, I'm not going with ya. It's okay, I'll wait. Even good people make mistakes. I don't wanna realize when it's too late. Drinking and driving is never safe. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. Been drinking all night, feeling so high. Better not drive, ain't gon' try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high. Better not drive, ain't gon' try.
All right, and we're back with our final segment, and we're going to talk all things crocodile. In this third segment, we have with us, joining us via Zoom from ACES Wildlife Rescue Director Chris Summers. He's joining us from Ambergris Caye right now. Mr. Summers, good morning. How are you this morning, sir?
Wonderful, thank you. Other than this little bit of rain we've had come in, I thought we were done with rainy season.
Well, I was going to ask you what the weather is like out in San Pedro, but that explains it. It's also raining in Belize.
Not as bad as what I've heard the mainland. I've heard the mainland's been pretty wet. We got a little bit, but not too bad.
We got the forecast this morning, and we were telling everyone, keep dry, and then we walked outside for a few minutes, and it's just pouring rain outside.
Mr. Summers, you're one of the experts with crocodiles here in Belize, you and your organization. Coexisting with crocodiles. When we talk about coexisting with crocodiles, what are we talking about specifically? I know that there are places in Belize City, some of the lagoons, some of the water and swamp areas, that crocodiles actually exist. And surprisingly enough, for those who are not aware of the landscape in Belize, a lot of these waterways are near the homes of certain residents. And then we're talking about crocodiles in the ocean and along the beaches where people visit on a regular basis. We're talking about swimmers, persons going to swim. We're talking about tourists as well who visit the Keys and the beaches. So there is a need for coexisting. Talk a bit to us about that.
Okay, so it really all comes down to understanding crocodiles and crocodiles' behavior, and then in certain cases we have to adapt our behavior. You know, crocodiles are here. They can be found throughout the entire country, in the coast, out in the Keys, as you said, and then of course we have the freshwater species as well. You're going to find them up the inland rivers. And as we kind of develop and expand as a civilization, we're moving more and more into what would be classified as wild animals territory, right? So we are going to be coming into close contact with crocodiles, whether we want to or not. So there's certain behaviors that we need to adopt to minimize crocodile-human conflict. Now, it's important to state off the bat that the species we have here, both of them, the American saltwater crocodile and the Morlet's freshwater crocodile, you would classify them as shy and timid species, okay? And what we mean by that is they usually don't see people as a source of food, as in they don't seek us out, they don't hunt us. That doesn't mean to say that things don't happen. Things do happen, and when it does, it's awful. But when you compare to other species across the world, these guys are very shy. Their typical food source is generally small. With the American crocodiles, even the great big, big, what you would call monsters, behemoths, they're hunting fish, they're hunting shrimp, they're hunting crab, they're hunting birds. We are so much larger than the prey that they're usually targeting. Now, what we want to do to ensure that kind of behavior continues, that they remain shy of people, they remain fearful in their natural state, man, one of the key things it comes down to is feeding. And that could be what we would call direct feeding and indirect feeding. So direct feeding, we don't see too much of anymore. That's, all comes down to there's a lot of education and outreach and enforcement from the forest department. And direct feeding would be where people go and purposely throw food to an animal. Usually it's done for tourists. As a way to kind of bring the animal close, but this teaches that animal that we are to be associated with food. All right, that takes away any natural fear they have, it takes away any shyness, and associates us with food. Well, that is going to increase the likelihood of an attack dramatically on people and or pets. But like I said, thankfully we don't have too much of that anymore. The other type of feeding would be indirect feeding, and this is something we have to do a lot of outreach on this. And it's not somebody that's purposely feeding the animal, but let's say you live on a canal or a lagoon where crocodiles exist as well, and you come home from fishing every day, you clean your fish, you throw the fish scraps right there. Sooner or later, that animal is going to clock on to the fact that, okay, every time this guy comes home, there's an easy meal sitting there waiting for me. And then their behavior can gradually progress to something that we would call nuisance behavior or problematic behavior. So this is one of the key things we try and get across to people is just make sure you are not providing any source of food for these animals. Give them no reason to be coming close to you, because that's one of the biggest issues that we have. So
I had a encounter many years ago with one of our shrimp farms where a crocodile came in through the mouth of the sea into the lagoon and then on into one of our into our ponds. And the reality is that we didn't have control over that, and we didn't know who to call because we didn't want to just kill it, right?
No, of course not.
And so when it comes to instances like that, what does ACES provide?
Well, shrimp farms are a difficult scenario compared to your average living situation because they're so big. Shrimp farms generally, they're so big. It's such a large body of water or multiple bodies of water. And being a shrimp farm, there is plenty of food source in there for the animals. And the thing is, with relocating crocodiles, most of the time they're going to return to where they came from. Unless you take this animal 100 miles away, they're more than likely they're going to return, or another one is going to come and take over the open territory. And that's what, it's relocating is generally never the long-term solution. In terms of shrimp farms, I would say, your best bet is to try and find ways that animals are accessing it. Like if they're coming in through pipes and inlets to the ocean, try and block that off in ways that the animals can't get through, but it doesn't restrict the flow of water and everything else you need. With homes, it all comes down to fencing. Is what we try and get across to people who are living directly on the waterways where crocs are going to be existing. Is you got to get fencing up. That's going to protect your pets. It's going to protect your children. It's going to prevent the animals from coming onto your property if that's something that concerns you, which, by the way, is something that crocodiles just do as part of their daily need for survival. When they come on land, it's a way of thermoregulating their body temperature, of warming up, because they don't have any control of that temperature like we do. So I know a lot of people freak out and call us when they see a crocodile lying on the shore or lying on the bank, but there's nothing sinister in it. It's just a part of their daily needs. But I understand people don't want that in their yard. So fencing is key, and it doesn't, we're not talking about Fort Knox here. You don't need some 10-foot tall, 3-foot, deep concrete wall. What we've done in the past with people in low-income areas that can't afford fencing is we've gone around and scavenged things like pallets from the hardware stores and the port, and kind of deliver that, and that is more than sufficient enough to kind of make a barrier, because all you're doing is just stopping that animal from coming in or taking away that ambush capabilities. Your pets can have free roam of your yard without having to worry about it. So it's just, when we're talking about coexisting, we're talking about just simple little things like this to minimize that conflict.
It's interesting for me, a bit alarming, the fact that we actually have these gigantic animals living among us. You don't necessarily think of it, I guess, until you encounter it, or until you actually see images and you say, wow, those actually are in Belize, these large crocodiles. We've had incidents of attacks on humans, let's be real, and there was one recent case in Keycocker that we reported on. What went wrong there?
That it was just dumb. It was not dumb luck. It was just bad luck. When we talk about things like coexisting, as you can see on the poster here, we're talking about swimming only in daytime hours and avoiding dusk and dawn. The gentleman, according to reports, was out at like 10 o'clock in the morning, which is not generally hunting time for crocodiles. And he was also in an area where there's generally not crocs, because it's the split. There's usually a lot of people there. There's a lot of commotion, a lot of noise, a lot of music, things that crocodiles just generally don't dig. So it was just a very scary and unfortunate incident that the gentleman happened to be spearfishing at a time that there happened to be a crocodile there when there usually isn't. If somebody asked me, like, what could he have done to change and make sure that didn't happen, there's nothing different that he could have done.
So what's your advice for someone who comes in close proximity with a crocodile, not knowing that a crocodile is within their area, and they come in close proximity? We've heard when you come in contact with a bear, you stand still and you don't say a word. You're in the water, you can't necessarily stand, depending on the depth of the water.
No, I would say if you're in the water and you come across a crocodile, I would say you want to do the same thing you do with sharks, and that is you want to move away slowly. If you start freaking out and panicking and splashing around like wounded prey, you might trigger that predatory instinct. Oh, there's something here to hunt. So I would say move away slowly, calmly, and get out of the water.
And if the crocodile continues to approach you?
Whilst you're in the water?
Yeah.
I mean, just keep going. if he's coming slowly, then just keep going, just keep backing up, nice and slow. Don't
panic.
You ever had a dog charge at you?
Yeah, I've had a dog.
What happens if you turn and run?
You don't. Well, if you turn and run, they chase you. So there are times you kind of have to stand firm.
It's the same thing with all predators. If and I'm not saying necessarily to stand your ground, because you don't want to stand your ground in the water, because
Right.
we're not built for water.
Right.
I'm saying if you act like prey and you start freaking out, you might trigger that predatory instinct. So yeah, your best bet is just to kind of, if you're in shallow water, same as like a bear, you kind of want to stand up so you see your full, because you know, if you're just like in the water and just your little head's bobbing around on the surface, they don't necessarily see that there's a full grown, you know, person there. So if you stand up and they see that, okay, this is a much larger animal than I thought I was approaching.
Yeah.
So yeah, like make yourself big if you can, and then slowly back away out of the water.
Tell us a little bit about ACES and the education campaign that you all have going on for educating people about crocodiles.
Okay, so with crocodiles, we respond to, especially particularly here on the Key, because the Key is so small and it's expanding so rapidly. We receive in upwards of 100 calls a year. You know, people calling our hotline and reporting, okay, there's a croc here doing this, or we're worried about that. Because they're a native species, they're natural here to the islands, like they're always going to be here. So we have to find ways to kind of coexist with them. And that's what the education is about, because people are going to continue to expand into the wetlands and where the mangrove once were. And those areas are still going to get flooded during rainy season, right? Just it doesn't stop being wetlands just because we put a house there. And when these areas get flooded, and the same thing happens on the mainland, when these wetland areas get flooded during rainy season, the crocs have areas to move through that they didn't previously have during dry season. So this is why we say, like on these posts, when we're talking about this coexisting, what can people do? Again, it comes back to barriers. Like if you don't want a croc living under your house and it's something that's happened before or it's happened to your neighbor, we got to get barriers around that house, because a raised home that's raised a few feet off the floor, just like we're seeing right here on this picture, that is a perfect man-made cave for a crocodile. They love that, and they didn't have to put any effort into digging in and wasting any energy. Somebody else did it all for them. And when there's a little bit of water like that, oh, they love it.
I can't begin to imagine you stepping down your stairs and then you look under to see a huge crocodile. That's the start of a horror movie.
Yeah, that'll make you nervous. That'll make you nervous.
That definitely make you nervous. Go ahead.
And then, of course, like in scenarios like that, then yes, relocation is the answer, because that's like somebody's home. It's directly under the house. That is not where the animals are supposed to be. So we come, we set traps, or if there's enough room for me to go under there, we'll go under there and go and get it and move it. But we want to prevent that from happening in the first place. Yeah. So the idea is, prevention instead of a cure in this case.
You talk about relocation, and I just want to jump in there because we've talked about what you do when you see a crocodile, or you come face to face with a crocodile in water. But on land, we've seen incidents where a crocodile might appear in a residential area, and we see residents take up the responsibility or the task to kind of try and relocate that crocodile. Little to no experience, persons attempt to subdue the crocodile, whatever means or ways they try to do so. Do you encourage this type of behavior from residents, especially persons who may not know what they're doing?
No, I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do, man. But no, we absolutely don't encourage it. Like these animals are so quick, and generally they're not going to attack people. But when you've got a crocodile cornered and there's nowhere for him to go, there's nowhere for him to run, you put them in that flight or fight response, right? And if they've got nowhere to fly to, nowhere to run to, then they're going to defend themselves in whatever means necessary. And if you're trying to get hands on that croc, or trying to get a rope on that croc, you're trying to do some stuff you've seen on TV, man, it takes a split second for it to go from under control to completely out of control, and now you're missing fingers and missing a hand or worse. Now, I understand in scenarios, people feel like they're left with no options, so they're going to do what they have to do. And yes, we understand that. But no, we don't encourage it. I would say your best course of action first is to either call us or call CRC, call the Belize Forest Department, should always be your first call. Call the police, call any authorities that you can on the matter to get advice on what to do. Yeah.
Any final advice for our viewers out there?
You know, just be cautious. You know, do the things I talked about as far as your fencing and your barriers and things. When you're going and swimming in areas where there may potentially be crocodiles, just think about your surroundings. You know, when we're talking about the freshwater rivers, I'd be going down places where there's nice open beaches, it's nice open. I wouldn't be jumping in somewhere where there's, you know, loads of overhanging vegetation and places for crocodiles to hide, because even though they don't generally seek us out, they can make mistakes. You know, they can misidentify what's kind of, you know, when crocs are underwater, they hunt by using motion sensors. They don't generally see so good. Their vision underwater is kind of iffy. So they hunt on movement. So if there's something kind of moving around, splashing around, and they can't see clearly what it is, and we've had numerous incidents of this in the country as well, where people have been bit by mistake by a crocodile not knowing what they were grabbing. So when you go swimming in the rivers, go to nice, clear waters where there's nice, gradual beaches. Same thing with the coasts. I generally advise people to stay away from areas that are dense in mangrove, because that's where crocodiles like to hang out. And avoid dusk and dawn and the couple of hours before and after it, because dusk through dawn, that's your prime hunting time for crocodiles.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Summers, I'm sure it's a conversation we could continue.
Yeah, you got this all day.
hopefully one of these times we could send a team out to come and visit you out there and see some of the work you guys are doing. If that's something you're interested in, it's a conversation we could have and we could continue having. But it was a pleasure. Thank you for being with us. With that, we'll take our final break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up our show for this morning. Stay tuned.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela and my name is Kieran. Today we're going to be learning how to put on makeup.
Connecting people. Creating memories. Sharing a smile. NextGen, the ultimate digital experience.
We were born connected to the water, the deep blue, the soil, the salt air, sheer abundance, ritual, water, expectation of the catch, the wind and waves. What lay beneath filled our bellies, sustained our communities. But song fell to a whisper. Her rituals were lost. Communities changed. But now, that song beckons us back to the sea. The generations that came before, and for the generations still to come. Thriving, abundant sea is possible. Rebuilding fish populations can be our legacy.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
All right, and so that for our Thursday morning,
Friday Junior,
last Thursday in April. This is the end of the month.
It is,
and we want to
just like that.
April. We want to thank all our guests for joining us this morning. Those from the U.S. Embassy. We also had our good friends over from Digi, and then we had Mr. Summers who came in to talk a bit about coexisting with crocodiles.
I think you wanted a feature, Paul.
Definitely, I have to get
Paul
on the back of a crocodile just to learn more about how do we coexist.
Just to say you did it. Yeah.
All right.
Right, and of course, if you have any questions or concerns, you can drop us a line at oye@channel5.com, channel5belize.com.
Yeah.
And yes, right there, see, oye@channel5belize.com. Or you can catch us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BC or on Instagram at OYE_Belize. We thank you so much for tuning in. When you woke up this morning, you opened your eyes and you
start your morning right.
And of course, remember to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your heart open.
Yes. Stay tuned. See you tomorrow.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.